Let's move on to our next design element, which is going to be stickers and sliders. Now, these are actually super easy to work with. However, first you really have to get the technique down. Like anything else, you have to practice over and over again in order to get this down, in order for it to be quick and easy. The first little while you're practicing and learning the techniques and what works for you and what's more comfortable, of course it's going to take a little bit longer. It might be a little frustrating, but once you'll get it down, it truly makes your life easier. So don't jump to do this on clients right away. Take your time, practice first, get the technique down, and then you can move on to working on clients once it's easier and you know your technique. At Emmy, we call our decals that are water transferable nail dresses. There are different elements that you can use. You can either cut them out in a way where you can cover the entire nail from the cuticle all the way down to the free edge. However, there's also other design elements where you can cut it out, do half a nail, a lunular little design, or a stripe here and there. There are many, many different options. The really great and handy thing about these is that every package will have the exact instructions of how to work with the nail dress, and also you will have a few examples of how you can use that specific nail dress to decorate a nail. So you don't have to go crazy and make up your own design ideas. You have something to work off of. And over time, of course, you'll start making your own ideas yourself. All right, let's pick a couple of options. I really like this rose one, and then I'll pick another one as well. So this is what the package looks like. If you turn it around, you can see that there's step-by-step instructions on how to work with the slider and a few ideas like I told you earlier. So overall, it's pretty smart to just keep them on hand somewhere or keep pictures of the ideas or something like that. You'll notice that a lot of our nail dresses come sitting on top of a white background. Some of them will have that white coating underneath it, and some of them will be just clear. So a lot of the time, the bolder you want the image to look or the colors of the nail dress to look, then you'll probably want a lighter background to put it on top of. So for example, our white lotus amulak is a really good idea for a lot of them. I'm going to start working with the leopard print here, and I'm actually going to do it on just the nail itself, no coloring underneath, and I'm going to use the slider top gel. Now the slider top gel is exactly made for these kind of water transfer decals. You can try using it with other brands as well. We specifically made it in such a way that it would be suitable for any such decorations. Do a thin layer of the slider top gel and then cure it in an Emmy lamp from 15 to 30 seconds so that it's very sticky. I'm going to show you one of the harder options worth working with sliders, which is doing it right very, very close to the cuticle all the way down to the free edge. And one of the most important things with sliders is that you want to cut it in such a way that it will sit perfectly around the cuticle area. The rest of it you can cut off. I'll show you during this video. You want to make sure that it's as perfect to the design itself so that you don't have excess film that's clear. Because it's a water transfer decal, you want to have either a little box with some cotton or a piece of paper towel in it that's soaked with a little bit of water so that the slider itself can come off of the base. Carefully take off the nail dress from the base that it's on. Don't be too aggressive with it. It's still film. You can rip it. So place it exactly where you want it, and we're going to start working it down to perfection. As you're sort of applying pressure to stick down the nail dress to the actual nail, you want to pull at it just a little bit to make sure that it hugs the nail as perfectly as possible. Then we're going to take an orange wood stick and really help the edges come down and stick where you want them. Once you're happy with where you've placed your slider, you can go ahead and dry it in the lamp for 30 seconds. If you have little folds around the nail dress on the nail itself, don't worry, there's a strategy to get rid of those and put them down. You're pretty much never going to get it perfect without the help of Ultra Bond, which I'll show you soon. Next, grab a nail file that isn't too sharp, something maybe for natural nails, because if you use something that's too sharp, you might rip a little bit of the nail dress, and we don't want that. And what we're gonna do once you have finished curing the nail dress on top of the nail, grab your nail file and just softly go around the free edge to remove any excess. Sometimes if your slider is too large around the edges, you might have excess on the sides of the nail. So what you can do here is grab small cuticle scissors or cuticle nippers and just get rid of the excess on the sides that way. You can also use Ultra Bond to remove excess slider around the cuticle area if you see that you have too much. And that's actually our next step, is Ultra Bond. The first place you would get rid of any excess using Ultra Bond would be around the cuticle area. Then what you're going to do is take just a little bit more Ultra Bond and place it all over the nail dress very lightly, and not a large amount, because if you put too much, it can pull apart the nail dress. It could kind of melt it. And like I showed just a few seconds ago, you can always use the orange wood stick to help remove the excess from the sides and around the cuticle. It's important to mention that Ultra Bond air dries, so you don't need to put it into the lamp to cure or anything like that. Now our next step is going to be to do a thin layer of slider top gel. Because it is stickier, it's going to really help the slider stay in place, just like we did in the glitter videos. And then once we've cured the slider, we can do a thin layer of the tackless top gel as the final step. I actually want to go ahead and put a Charmicon on top of this before closing up the final design. So what I'm going to do is take out the nail after the second layer of slider has dried on it, degrease it, and that's where we're going to place the Charmicon before putting the final layer of tackless top gel. Since the tackless is going to be our final layer, let's cure it for 2 minutes minimum in an Emi-lamp. Our next design I want to do with the white background using the White Lotus Emi-lac like I mentioned. Remember to always do your best to cut the perfect outline for the cuticle area of your nail dress. Now we're going to repeat the same steps that we did before, which is put on a thin layer of slider, cure it for 15 to 30 seconds, and apply the nail dress. I want to fill in the little dragonfly, and because it's going to be a final top gel finish, no sticky layer, you can use our thickest gel paints called Impasta, which have no sticky layer, to fill in and draw. Be careful about how much volume you're putting on while using Impasta because it has to dry for a long time. So if you put in too thick of a layer, it may not dry properly. It is for textured designs, not for 3D designs. Whenever you're finished, cure it for 2 minutes minimum. Now I want to put down a couple of rhinestones, so we're going to use Maxi for that. And of course, tackless just around the rhinestone so that nothing gets stuck underneath, next to it, hair, clothing, so that they're completely protected around. After you're done, just cure it in the lamp for another minute or two, and there's nothing else that you need to degrease. Your design's going to be completely ready.